Hey guys, what's up? This is going to be part 2 of my mini series going over what I found when I analyzed 100 viral shorts. Last video, this one, I went over retention of shorts, and this video is going to be all about hooks, why they matter, how you can improve your hooks, and of course, analyzing the stats of videos that performed well. So first, I'm going to be talking about why hooks matter and the statistics behind that. And then if you watch to the end, you're going to get a little treat because I'm going to be going over some strategies that you guys can use for hooks. I think it'll probably only be about 2 videos in this series because I should be able to touch on everything I didn't get to talk about in episode 1. However, if you guys want me to go over anything else, let me know. As always, just drop a comment saying the topics you guys want me to cover. I think the next few videos I do are probably going to be some channel reviews. And those are really valuable videos to watch, considering it's actionable advice and takeaways you can use to improve your channel. If that sounds interesting to you guys, you can drop a comment below asking me to review your channel and I'll pick a bunch of you guys out. Anyways, if you guys haven't seen episode 1 here, go to my channel and watch that first, and then come back to this video so it makes sense what I'm actually doing and talking about in this video. With that being said, I don't want to yap too much. I just want to provide you guys with this information, so let's get into this. So the first thing we have to talk about is the hook, right? So the hook is that first 3 to 5 seconds of your short. It can be argued that depending on the short, the hook might even be 1 to 2 seconds, especially if the video is shorter, like a 7-second short, for example, instead of 50 seconds. Now, if you think about what's really going on here, I'll just say this in the most blunt way possible. Basically, you guys have to grab somebody's attention within the first 2 to 3 seconds. And there's a lot of ways that you can try to do this. The statistic that we are looking at here in relation to the hook is the swipe through rate, aka the VVSA. So I know this is self-explanatory for some of you guys, but if you have a swipe through rate of about 80%, you can just think about this like out of everybody who watched my video, 80% stayed past the first few seconds. Now, I can't exactly pull the swipe rate analytics of different viral shorts. However, what I can do is combine my own stats from my viral shorts with the studies I was referencing last video. So from analyzing my own personal viral shorts, every single one of my videos that has over 5 million views has over 80% swipe rate. In fact, almost every one of my videos that has even over 1 million views has about 80% or higher swipe rate. There's really very few exceptions for me personally. I've posted like 550 shorts across 2 channels. There's only a couple of videos that I've ever posted that got over 1 million views with the swipe rate under 80%. And even then, the swipe rate is still pretty much like 75 to 79%. We aren't talking about like 50% swipe rate or anything. And the videos that went mega viral, well, honestly, most of these are around 81 to 83% swipe rate. So we are dealing with a pretty high swipe rate here. This is pretty hard to achieve. Now, it might be different for different niches and different videos. For example, I uploaded animal shorts for like 3 months. I would get insane stats, insane VVSA on some of these videos, and I'd be pretty confident that my videos would go viral just because I've seen those stats before, and then they'd just flop and I'd be pretty confused. That's partially why I quit that specific niche, and it was for the best because then I did my regular videos on that channel, and within 2 months I got monetized with similar stats. So if there is extremely high competition within a niche, it's possible that you may require a little bit of a higher swipe through rate. However, in my opinion, the baseline of around 80% swipe through rate is pretty accurate. So let me show you guys this study that was done. And again, this study was done across 3.3 billion shorts views, dozens of channels and dozens of different niches, and over 5,000 shorts were analyzed. So this data is very reliable to say the least. So here's the graph to represent that. On the bottom axis, the x-axis, it's the swipe through rate. And on the y-axis, it is obviously the views. If you guys want to find this data, just search up Patty Galloway shorts into Google search and you should find it. It's a Twitter thread. So generally what we see here, ceteris paribus, with everything else held equal, higher swipe through rate is correlated with higher views. So okay, that's pretty obvious by now. It makes sense why that would be the case. So let's see exactly where the cutoff is. So the vertical red line here is indicative of a big cutoff point. So he found that if the swipe rate is under 60%, there's virtually no shot your video will be getting over 100,000 views. Now, I'm not going to say that 100% of the time that is true, because I'm sure there is a handful of people out there who got more views with an atrocious swipe rate like under 60%. However, in my experience, that is pretty spot on. Every video under 60 is completely a dud for me. Now let's look at what we want to achieve, which is the high view counts, the green up here. So oddly enough, the most viral videos he observed appeared to be around the 75% to 80% swipe rate range. In fact, you actually kind of see the peak there, and then it kind of tapers off towards the 85% plus swipe rate category. However, guys, that is probably just because there's less data within that super high swipe rate category. There's just far less dots because there's far less people getting higher and higher numbers. I'd be willing to bet that if you were consistently hitting 90% swipe rate, you'd perform better than the 80% category. Now, of course, you can see some outliers, like a few videos that did decent with less than ideal stats, and you can also see a graveyard of shorts right here, this huge cluster of red that had good stats but died. So what you guys should take from this is that not every short with good stats will go viral. That's just the truth. It's a numbers game. However, if every video you upload has great stats, then yes, it's fair to say one of your videos should eventually go viral. The highest video recorded here is actually about 100 million views, and it has a swipe rate of about 72-73% maybe. So it doesn't even sound crazy good. However, you guys may not realize there's actually a diminishing return here though. Say YouTube shows your video to an audience of like 100K people and 80% swipe through. As YouTube shows more and more people your video, the swipe rate is going to go slightly down, or diminish at least. It's just natural. Your video can't grow at the same rate forever. So if it is shown to 100,000 people and it gets 80% swipe rate, and then YouTube decides it's a good video and pushes it to 1 million people, and their swipe through rate is like, I don't know, 75%, just by sheer numbers, your average swipe through rate is going to probably show up as around 76, maybe 76 and a half. But that's not really indicative of how the video is performing for that initial audience of 100,000 people unless you were tracking it in real time. And that's why it's important to look at the entirety of the VVSA graph and not just the average. Because a lot of you guys, for example, your VVSA graph might look like this almost. So it starts out with a relatively high VVSA, like 82%, and then it ends up around 75%. And just by sheer numbers, it'll average it down. So average, it'll look more like this, but really it got pushed because of the 82% swipe through rate. So I hope that makes some decent sense. If you guys appreciate the videos I make on this channel and you want to show support, I don't want your money or anything, guys. All I'm asking is that if you find these videos valuable, please like, comment, subscribe, just engage with the video. It helps me out a lot. And if you guys don't want to miss when I upload another banger, turn on post notifications as well. Now, if you've made it to this point in the video, you guys get some extra sauce because now we can go over strategies. Like, cool, we know how important hooks are and what they can do for our videos, but how do we actually make these hooks? What are some strategies we can use? So firstly, I have to mention this, and I know this is a little bit about retention, but guys, you gotta put yourself in the viewer's shoes. This is something that actually took me a really long time to realize because I only saw the numbers. And this might be a trap that a lot of you guys fall into if you're anything like me. I saw the number of views, the number of likes, the number of subscribers. But what I wasn't realizing was that behind each like and behind each view is a person, right guys? If you aren't making videos that you yourself would watch, then you can't really be mad when other people don't want to watch it. Your video should provide some form of value to somebody. People's time is extremely valuable. They value their time a lot. You know, they might be scrolling through shorts at work or in school or just to kill time, but the point is that they don't want to waste time. Now, you can provide things like entertainment, information, or drama to somebody, or you can provide a combination of all three. It doesn't really matter. The point that I'm trying to make here is that you have to provide something to people. If your video has no aim, then you won't hit your target, so to speak. So when you're writing scripts and formulating your video, please keep in mind this simple idea. What are you providing to your viewer? Pick something you're going to be providing your viewer with your video. Pick a direction and lean into it. If you're going information, do information, but do it with a little twist. Add some humor or be the best at providing information. You need to have something that separates you from the pack. Now that you have the general idea for the video, you have to structure the first few seconds, that imperative hook region. So here are some interesting ideas you can think about. Firstly, it is good to emulate other people's videos if they were successful. However, if your video looks the same as everybody's, people might have fatigue of that certain type of video. Pattern recognition is a really big thing. On these short form videos, people are scrolling on YouTube Shorts just like how I'm doing right now. This is how people are going to find your shorts. This is how your shorts get pushed. If you think about this one viral Ashton Hall video with like 45 million views on YouTube alone, I'm sure all you guys have seen it where he just goes over his morning routine that's like fake or whatever. This is what we call a pattern interruption because the first few seconds of this video really pull people in. Imagine you're just scrolling, oh, it's like an ad, oh, it's like a fitness, oh, it's like another fitness video, and then boom, you get this jacked, roided out dude with mouth tape on. And it's very simple and subtle, but really just a text hook of 3:52 a.m., some ungodly time in the morning. And so this naturally sparks people's curiosity. It makes them wonder, why the hell is this guy up before 4 a.m.? Why is his mouth covered with this duct tape? Why is he so jacked, etc.? And all of this contributes to a high swipe rate. Keep in mind, this dude didn't even say a word at the beginning of this video. Listen. That's what the hook is. No audio hook whatsoever. In fact, there isn't even any music on this video even. It's just straight up kind of ASMR. So this kind of segues into my next point. There's really two types of hooks that I really like to think about. There is visual hooks and audio hooks. Now, the best case scenario would be to combine them together. And it might not always be so cut and dry, like it can be very subtle. Like I said, the visual hook in this Ashton Hall video is simply him existing and the small 3:52 a.m. text. And the audio hook is just him rubbing his hands together. That's it. That by itself piques interest and curiosity. But there is many ways you can do this, and I'm just going to start spitballing ideas here so you guys can take whatever you want from this part of the video. For example, ranking channels tend to put a good clip first, obviously. It's actually more important that the 5th clip is greater than the 4th clip, which sounds counterintuitive because you'd think that the 4th clip should be better than the 5th clip. But if the hook is not good enough, then people won't even stay to the 4th clip and they won't watch it. Now, in my opinion, putting some sort of action or fast moving thing to start off the video is another good idea. You want to draw the viewer in. Movement is always good. It catches people's eyes. Now, loud noises are good because it catches people's attention, but guys, please don't overdo it because it can turn some people away. If you are just obliterating people's ears 1 second in, it might just cause people to swipe away quickly. Faces are another really underrated thing. People naturally detect faces. If it's a close-up of somebody's face, you are biologically sort of hardwired to think like, what's going on here? Cutting the clip is very good. I do commentary. In most of my shorts, I honestly have a scene change and a transition effect with a sound like 3 to 4 seconds in. Obviously, I have very successful videos without this, and it can work without the scene changes, but generally speaking, cuts are very good. The people who are scrolling and watching your content sometimes are very ADHD or have a very low attention span, which is why they watch short form content. I'm not saying you have to cut the clip every 1 second because there is such a thing as too many cuts. But adding a few cuts can spice up your video, like right here, right? It's the first 2 seconds. The first 2 seconds here, there's actually a cut. See, he's walking, boom, it's a cut and it's just restarting. That's all it is. Now, this part is going to be channel specific. If you find that your retention is failing, like for example, you have a 30-second video and the retention is like 20 seconds. You can do a few different things. You could try out just doing 20-second shorts, honestly. It's actually possible your niche or audience is just so brain rotted and has less attention span, and by doing 20-second videos, they'll watch 100% of it. You could try different topics, or of course, improving your videos. That will always help out with retention. And that includes cutting the video more, zooms, crops, panning in and out. And what this does is it just gives the video more of a dynamic feeling. It makes it feel like it's shot from different angles rather than just commentating over one clip that plays the entire time. Now, specifically when it comes to hooks that you'll do with a voiceover, you have a few different options in my opinion. You can choose to do a big, bold statement. So you can say something like, "This is why you'll never eat a burger again." Or something like that. It's short and concise, but it is a bold statement. Now, whether you can fully back up that claim or not, it could be a potential winning hook because it's just such an outrageous claim and people want to hear if it's justifiable or how you could possibly make a statement like that confidently. Really, any statement that could generate controversy is also good. For example, "This is why Trump is the worst president ever." Regardless of whether you love him or hate him, people are going to stay to watch, and they're probably going to comment too. Emotional statements or dramatic statements are a cheat code and probably your best friend. It's okay to exaggerate. It's shorts, so there's probably going to be people in the comments talking about, this comment is so dumb. But hey, that's engagement. And in the long run, it'll help you. People love to feel like they know more than somebody who's narrating the video. Sometimes it's okay to pretend to be dumb. And again, it generates controversy, drives engagement. Think about people like Flight Reacts. If you guys know him, I hope everybody knows this dude is not 70 IQ. He is totally pretending to be dumb, and it literally generates tons of comments and tons of controversy. People even make compilations of the stupidest thing he's ever said. Generally speaking, statements where you speak in absolutes are better for hooks. So like, "This is why you should never do this." is better than "you probably shouldn't do this." It sounds more confident, gets people more intrigued. Now, on the flip side, questions can work depending on your niche. For example, stuff like, "Did you know that Trump is actually poor?" Or maybe, "How many licks does it take to get to the center of a lollipop?" Look, guys, these are just things I'm coming up with right now, but you get the point. Instead of basically creating a polarizing statement that piques curiosity, you can just ask the question to pique curiosity yourself. If people want to know the answer, then they'll watch your video. Then, of course, I have to mention the idea of sort of an anti-hook. I forgot who I heard mention this first, but basically it's just the concept that you don't even really create a hook. You just go straight into the storytelling. For example, something like during a football match, people were throwing water bottles at this goalkeeper. It gets straight to the point. Before people even realize if they want to swipe away or not, they're already somewhat invested in the story because they're in the middle of it. This can potentially boost how many people are interested. Back to the regular hooks, you can call out a group of people. So like, if you've ever played basketball, you've never seen this happen. Talking directly to a group of people can always work. Even people who don't play basketball will still be sucked in by hooks like this. Don't worry about that. It's not like the video will only apply to people who play basketball. For example, you could say something like, "If you're a man, you get why this video is so satisfying." And then you're going to get a bunch of women in the comments like, "This is satisfying to me and I'm a woman. Why is this a gender thing?" In fact, if anything, it drives more curiosity because people want to know why the video only applies to people who play basketball or who are men. Some other quick ideas. Weird phrasing sometimes can work. Pronouncing words wrong. Gain Sanity does this with water bottles. He always says waddle. Waddle bottle. And every single time it drives engagement. Like right here, 36K likes on a comment. Waddle bottle keeps cracking me up. Don't touch bros, waddle bottle. Waddle bottle, 20K likes on a comment. I don't know how people fall for this every single time, but they do. If you look at the comments, 50% of the comments are just talking about how he pronounced water bottle wrong. And he's using an 11labs voice clone, so he's literally typing in waddle on purpose with an L. Self-relevance is always good. Hooks that say "you" in them sound like they're speaking straight to the viewer. For example, "You won't believe what happened." And finally, novelty, guys. Things that are new or haven't been seen before. This can tie into speed, especially if you're in a saturated niche and something big happens. If you're the first one to cover something or make a video about it, that gives you a lot more chance of going viral. You can still go viral with anything, especially if it's been done before and it's already gone viral. But if some sort of breaking news happens and you're first to it, that genuinely is a good strategy. And yeah, that's pretty much everything I could think about for now. If you guys appreciated this video and it provided some value to you guys, it would help me out if you guys could just engage with the video, like and subscribe, whatever you want to do. If you don't want to miss another banger video, hit the bell so you get notified when I do drop a video. And yeah, I hope this helps you guys out. Keep grinding and peace out, man.